right, it is Wednesday, September 9th, 6:30 p.m. This is This Fan's View Wednesday night edition live. John, what do we got?
Well, we have a huge week this week. We got multiple things going on this week. We got finishing up with the Who Wore Best, number 28. Our captain, Claude Giroux, won it for the Flyers again. Another Flyer in the books.
You're not sucking me in.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. It's all right. But sorry for everybody. I wasn't able to get all the. We're in Facebook jail, I guess. We're not able to get all the spreads out to everybody. So the voting was down a little bit. We still got 500 and some votes this week, but we weren't able to spread it out to all the groups that we normally do. And this week we got number 29, which is another good matchup for a few spots here anyway, a few fan favorites. We got for the Phillies, John Kruk, part of the 93 National League champion team, Macho Rowe, the three-time All-Star, the Phillies Hall of Famer. Ironically, he batted exactly 300 for his career.
Wow.
And he had 100 home runs exactly as well.
Except against Randy Johnson.
Well, as you can see there, he's a little scared there. You can't blame him when you get 100 miles an hour fastball over your noggin there. And then for the Eagles, we have Harold Jackson, the 5-time Pro Bowler, led the league in receiving yards 2 times, the receiving leader for one of them. He had over 10,000 yards receiving through his career. For the Flyers, we have that Ray Emery. Played here a few years and had a pretty good goal against average, 2.88, and save percentage of 9.01. So pretty good player himself. Unfortunately, he passed away a little bit sooner than we all would have liked to have seen. And for the Sixers, we have that Connie Durkin. Who? He played that 1 year in 1961, the famous center back in the 60s. And then for the outsider,
I got a question. You couldn't have made something up.
We can't fool the viewers here. They're too smart. Can't make things up.
Connie Durkin, 1961.
Yep, center.
All righty now. What center wears number 29?
Connie Durkin.
I'm sorry. I won't interrupt you no more. I promise.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good. And then for the outsider, we have that Rod Carew, 18-time All-Star, the MVP in 77 for the American League, 1967 Rookie of the Year, 7-time batting champion, has his number retired by 2 teams, by the Angels and the Twins, and is also part of the Hall of Fame for both of those 2 teams, the Angels and the Twins. So we got a nice little mix here going. I think this one might be a little bit of a runaway with our fan favorite here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think we might be getting back onto the baseball track here. But we'll see how things go. Because the baseball team needs a little help. So, Mary, who do you have?
I will start it off. Kruk.
There you go. No. Lauren?
Kruk.
Anthony? See you nodding already? All right, here goes Carl. Let's see what we got here.
See, that's not right. That's not right. But accurate. Okay. I'm going to give Connie Durkin his 1 vote.
I was waiting for that. I knew that was coming.
I got to go John Kruk. John does an amazing job. And not you, John O'Brien. John Kruk.
Well, John does an amazing job, but not.
Yeah, I'm tired of blowing up his hand because now he's making me angry. But Kruk does an amazing job on the telecast, does he not?
He does.
Absolutely.
Does he not? He's entertaining. He talks the game. Does a great job.
He doesn't care what he says. That's why he's
well, that too.
Well, and he makes it enjoyable when we have to watch the bullpen explode. So just
It's going to be a long hour, I can tell.
5 minutes, Carl? 5 minutes?
It's going to be a long hour. I may boycott this show next week.
Well, just wait till we get to the.
If this screen's blank, it's on you, Job.
Just wait till we get to the Eagle talk.
You're going to go 4 for 4. I can see it coming.
Oh, of course. Oh yeah.
All right, John, you're up.
Absolutely.
You got
and of course, you know who I'm going. You got it all over the walls. We got
All
John
right.
Kruk. We got Krucker there. I mean,
So does Jen know you're marking up her dining room walls with all them pictures? Like,
well, it's a family room, and we got it's just tacky back. It's all safe.
does Jen can't appreciate all that.
Oh well, it has to come down as soon as the show's over. I mean, you know. 'Cause,
All right, I'm extending an invitation to have Jen on next week and not you.
Ah, there you go.
she won't be because she's at Zumba class.
Zumba. Maybe you should go to Zumba with her.
No, this body can't Zumba. I zoom in and it's a boom out, and I'm out the other way. It's not a good sight.
All right.
I used to be able to back in the day before I got my issues, but
So you admit you have issues.
everybody, I was never one to say that I never did. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about, and then we also have fantasy football. We got until 8:00 tonight to get the votes in. So Lauren's all excited about this.
Oh,
You should be seeing all the notes I got. We got 37 teams so far in. I think actually 38. You said Paul got in there as well.
Yeah,
so
he finally got his pick.
So we got 38 votes already, or teams already in so far. And then this year I'm going to try to do a little something different. I'm going to make myself even more crazier. I'm going to take each team individually and we're going to play head to head a little bit.
Is that possible, John?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how we can do.
This is scary, and it hasn't even started.
We'll see after week 17 how much we can replay part of this video right now and see how.
I have a question. Is there a backup plan?
Well, Lauren's going to take over after that.
no.
No, you should know
That's
now.
the case. Then it won't even happen.
There's no backup.
There's never plan B. There's never plan B. It's always just plan A.
Yeah, of course. We just roll with it. We go on. We wing it as we go through. But no, I want to try to see how this works this year with doing the head to head because we still want to keep it fun. So right at the moment for everybody to do it. So we're still going to pick the person who has the highest. Picks the players with the highest vote, and so that way everybody has a chance to win. But I'm going to try to do it this year and see how it works out. And if we see that not everybody's winning or one person's winning every week or whatever, then maybe we'll try to do the head to head with some things and have that be the way the winner gets picked in the future. We'll see how it works out. A lot of people were asking to play head to head, and I'm even going to throw a vote in myself for the view as a viewer, and that way they can try to beat me as well as the same team that they're picking. On top of playing us as the host.
I wish I could play along with you and pretend I have some idea of what you're talking about. I honestly don't understand this competition.
Well, you got 3 weeks, and then you're on the hot seat.
Yeah, well, if you could just let me know what I'm supposed to pick from, and I'll do the best that I can. But I can't follow this competition if my life depended on it.
It's really not that difficult.
I'll send you my spreadsheet, Lauren.
It seems very difficult. Mario has a spreadsheet. This seems very complicated.
Yeah, but you did notice he did finish last place, though. So.
I did.
Okay, but spreadsheet. It seems so confusing. Okay, so John,
I'll be right back.
All right. John, can you do me a favor for the new folks that might be on watching tonight that didn't participate last year?
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain the contest and how this works?
You knew that was coming out. He had to bring out his championship trophy. But remember,
I should have been better prepared because I knew you were going to start early.
But that was only for regular season. The playoff championship came to me. Just saying.
What am I waving?
Well, you're waving it because we never bought a second one for the playoffs. Because mine would have been bigger.
So I got the one and only trophy.
Yes, you do. That's a sweet looking trophy, though, too.
I'll leave that.
It'll be sitting right here next year.
Yeah, you got no shot. Your mind is so occupied on so many other things.
That's the one thing with the jumbled mind, you can be able to handle a few different things when it's all.
Defense wins championships.
Okay, we'll see about our family one too.
Yeah.
But
you tell that little Tyler I'm going to wring his neck because every time I went to pick a guy and put him in my queue, he stole him. Good thing I wasn't there. I'm going to wring his little neck.
Well, you stole a few players from me as well.
Yeah, but I don't care about that.
Of course not. But to answer your question, Lauren, what we're going to do is each week, this week there is no non-pick player, but so each group out of the 5 or 7 players that are in each group, you pick one person from that group, and as a vote, that becomes your team for this year as your own, and then we tabulate all the votes for all the viewers themselves, and we make one. Whoever's the majority winner of each group becomes the viewers' pick for that position.
And is that for just that week?
That's just for that week.
Okay.
And then the following week, you pick all over again. But week 2, I'll have a spot. Whoever becomes the viewers' team this week, like Christian McCaffrey's one of the players. Next week, none of the viewers will be able to pick Christian McCaffrey because that way we're as viewers trying to give the players the trying to give the viewers an advantage. Picking first with all their players, but that way they can't keep picking the same players, and then it wouldn't be fair for everybody.
So then we take the viewers' team against whoever's host teams.
Which yes, this week it's Mario's going to do one for us as a host. I'm going to do next week's. Carl's going to do week 3, and then you and Anthony combined will do week 4.
All right, we got 3 weeks to figure this out.
All right, and we'll probably need about that.
A couple cocktails I can be bought.
Okay, so then question. So you were referring to doing like head-to-head last year. I think what we did was everyone who submitted their votes for who they wanted the viewers' team to be went into a hat to win the prize for that week.
Well,
is that not how we're doing it this year?
No, we are, just to keep it all fair for everybody, to make it still fair, and so that there's, like I said, that's what I want to find out about it, if that's going to be an option to be able to do it by who wins. But no, whoever of that viewers 14 players, whoever scores the most points, say this week it's Christian McCaffrey, that's just for instance, whoever voted for Christian McCaffrey, those names get put into a hat into the randomizer, and then we pull a name, and that's who wins the prize.
Gotcha.
That way it's fair. That way it's fair. That way it's fair for everybody to play, so that we don't have Carl as a viewer and wins every week, and because he's thinks he's so great and has the trophy. so he doesn't have all 17 prizes, and then people don't want to play. That's why we're doing it with the randomizer, so people can still win and learn, because that's what this is all about, is get everybody involved with the football, the fantasy football a little bit, and learn a little bit more about it as well, and making it fun. If I find out this year, we get 15, 16 different, winners, maybe we'll do that way next year, as far as whoever the winner is that week. So you're playing together, and that way it makes it fun for everybody, because like yourself, you said you don't know a whole lot about it, but you can make your vote, and you still are participating with the viewers, and have a vote that might count. and then you might have a chance to win if that person's the winner. So there's no votes are wrong. It's just we play, have fun with it, and what can be better? You're playing the game. It's free. You can lose to Mario or us, and you still win a prize.
Me.
Right.
well, this is a new year. I got a little faith, Mario. I got a little faith.
I'm glad you do.
Did I say that with a straight face? but it's just one of those things. It just make it fun. And then, like I said, a lot of people were a little bit competitive because we went head to head a little bit throughout the playoffs, since it was we combined the whole 4-week schedule and made it fun that way. And that way you still have the competitive part, but also the fun part by picking whoever was the highest vote getter.
Should I start ordering the new trophy for this year?
Yeah, remember we got
job on the stickers this year. All right, do a better job on the stickers.
Oh, that's
I know,
way over there.
I know.
I have a couple weeks, or actually a couple months. So
that's a beautiful sticker. That's a beautiful decal. Your buddy designed that too.
The guy at Office Max?
No, Tyler.
Oh, Tyler. I got it in for him. I think I go head to head with him this week.
No, you got Kyle this week.
Oh, that's right. I got the brother.
Yeah.
The fix is in. I can feel it.
Oh yeah. He's already got you marked up. He's licking his chops.
Yeah, right.
You better hope that the Eagles do well, like you're hoping this week.
I'm just hoping Miles Sanders plays, or I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I mean it's that's why, like we were talking before the show.
I have faith. I have faith in the Birds, unlike some other people on the show.
Just because you can't win every game, so just because I say that they have a chance of losing this week, doesn't mean that I don't like their chances this year. It's not a big
last year and the year before.
Well, I don't like the new norm of 9-7. I'm sorry if that's wrong. You won a Super Bowl and then you've that's it.
Tapered off.
You're living off that high.
But that's what the Phillies did after they won the World Series.
Well, they were at least competitive
for the next couple of years, right?
Right. They went back to the Super Bowl, or they went back to the World Series the year afterwards.
They did. So tell me what your reasoning is for thinking they're going to lose on Sunday.
Well, the offensive line is in shambles right now.
Right.
We don't, and it doesn't know if Lane Johnson's going to be playing.
Wait, time out. Shambles. Oh,
you got a guy that was just brought out of the pastures.
It's going to be a long football season, I can tell.
well, you just moved Jason Peters from right tackle to left guard or left tackle because because the guy couldn't play out there. So now you're putting him back at right guard.
Is that big a deal?
Yeah, because now he's going out there, and Jason Peters is going to get eaten alive this week. Yeah, but he's going to get eaten alive. Yeah, but he was so old last year, it was ridiculous.
So what was the reasoning for him moving positions?
Because he couldn't play out there.
Well, no, two guys got hurt. Let's call.
No.
Why
they were why he was changed his position to begin with was because he couldn't play out there. If everything was normal to go play guard. They
brought him back because of 2 injuries. That's the only reason they brought him back to begin with.
Well, that's part of it too, because he should have been retired.
You're tough. You're a tough hombre.
I'm just being realistic. Doesn't mean I'm being tough.
I like to see you say it to his face.
I will. Hello. You're too slow. Stop jumping off sides. I mean, he knows he's beat. And then you're moving the guy who was supposed to play out there to replace him, replacing Dillard, because he got hurt. Moving him to right guard, which then you might be moving on the right tackle if Lane Johnson's not playing. So how's this offensive line going to be able to, do anything when they're not even having any practices? You're going up against might be one of the best, when you find out throughout the year, it might be the best defensive line they're going to face this year with 4 number 1 picks out there, which we struggle with all the time with Washington anyway, that defensive line. And you got, Chase Young, the new guy. just mark it down for next week. That's all. It's not. I'm not fiddling anything.
I don't have to mark it down. All we have to do is just roll the footage.
That's right. Like I said, I'm not saying that this means that they're not going to have a good season this year. It's just this week is going to,
You
with
think
all
these
these.
start off rough?
John, they cannot lose to Washington. Please.
How many times we say that every year, and we do.
Do they have a team name yet? That's a better question.
The Washington football team.
Are they
That's
selling
it.
merchandise with that? I mean, is that what the
They
team?
do.
I don't know if they're going that far, but I think
But
Yeah.
again, how do you sell sponsorships with no name?
right.
Well, it's just a W. That's their logo, and that's their name is just Washington.
That's
Washington
it for
football
this year,
team.
though, right?
Probably just for this year, yeah, because they didn't have the time to be able to get a new team name, and supposedly, people went out and bought a whole bunch of different names, copyrighted them or whatever, and so they couldn't, take the names, and they're not happy with the ones that are still available or whatever. So,
How do you not have enough time?
That's what I was thinking.
well, it
They only had a
just
couple
kind of
months.
happened. It just kind of happened real quick.
Yeah,
at
but
the
they-
end,
But it happened like 3 months ago.
Yeah, but they've also been talking about this forever. You have to have in the back of your mind an idea of a team name because you
Right.
knew it was going to happen at some point. Like, how do you not have any idea? You can't go
Well,
play a whole year not without a team name. That's horrible.
well,
Not good planning
Snyder,
on their part.
well, Snyder. If things didn't happen in the country the way it is now, he wouldn't have changed his name.
Right.
Snyder forever said that he wasn't going to change the name of the Redskins. It's just one of those things. It's just, but
Brian Brown brings up a good point. How many times do the announcers mess up and call them the Redskins?
I'm sure they'll slip, but I think they're probably warned not to say it because of
I'm sure, but
but
you've been doing it for years. Kind of comes.
well, it comes out. But yeah, like I said, I would think I would think most of them. It's going to happen. Don't get but
I'm
I don't.
guessing over under is going to be 5, at least 5.
Wow, overall, we're going to have a spread. DraftKings going to have a on a name calling.
I'm sure
Mhm.
you can place a bet on that.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
sure.
no doubt.
That's for sure.
FanDuel's putting it up there now.
So wait, these are going to be one year of uniforms that they'll never wear again, huh? So yeah, those will be like a pretty penny if someone can get a hold of one of those uniforms.
Yeah.
Well, and talking about that, like, what are they going to do for a throwback day? It's going to be, you're going to throw back to the W's is what you're going to throw back to because, if they're not going to be able to use those, uniforms again.
It's Washington. They can't get nothing right.
No, that's just true. This is true, but
Big of political stances I'll take. I just blame it on the whole town. The Capitals fired their coach after 2 years from winning the Stanley Cup. The Washington Redskins can't get it right. Who else? Who else is down there?
the Nationals just won the
The
championship.
basketball team had to change their name a few years ago from the Washington Bullets.
Bullets.
They were the Bullets for like ever.
Right.
To the Wizards.
Oh,
Yep.
my God.
It's just that town is just, oh God,
Sorry. Everybody's getting too sensitive over stuff.
cut my cord, will you?
but
Crazy.
yeah, but no, like I said, I think it's going to be it's going to be a little bit of it until the Eagles get that offensive line, and it's going to be, let's face it, it's going to be ugly football for the first month all around the league. Teams aren't ready to play. It's going to be ugly.
I think it's going to be ugly for the first couple of weeks for a lot of teams.
Well, as I said, it's going to be across the board. It's going to be, the first 4 weeks, it's going to be ugly football completely. It's just a matter of who can survive. I mean, the good thing with the Eagles, I will say, is we at least have established coaching staff, where everybody else in our division has new coaching staffs. So that the team should be a little bit more ready to play and more used to.
Did you just give an attaboy to Doug Peterson? Huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I can give him credit when credit's
It's gonna
due.
snow tonight.
When there's credit to be done, hand it out. I hand it out. When you keep throwing the ball on against a team when you can run it and you lose a game, I'm going to call you out on it. I'm sorry.
Cheers, Dougie P.
That's right, Dougie P.
John,
you won't be
they're
cheering.
going to surprise you, and they're going to win this week.
Well, we'll see. I hope they do. I mean, like I said, I hope they, but it's a game. Like I said, with Lane Johnson in there, I think we have a better chance of winning. If Lane Johnson's out, it's going to make it real difficult.
Him and Sanders were both on the practice field today. So,
I was on the practice field today too, but it didn't mean I was playing.
Wow.
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Next
Just
question.
because you're standing on the field watching it doesn't mean you're playing. I think he's going to play, but there's a he hasn't played in 9 or 10 of the practices that they've had. So it's going to be one of those things that Sue's already out of her
Sue's
popcorn,
on fire tonight.
Popcorn already.
and we haven't even gotten to the hard ones that I told you to get your popcorn out for when we get to the Phillies bullpen.
God.
But
Is that your segue?
well, I don't know. We had a half an hour.
To where? To what's that question?
I don't know, just juggling stuff up in the air to see what lands.
I mean, it's almost October, right? Because the pumpkins are coming out. The bullpen's turn.
It's only the 9th. You got another couple weeks left.
Oh, okay. But the bullpen's turning back into pumpkins. It must be 12 o'clock somewhere.
Would somebody remind John that the Phillies are 1.5 games out of first place?
They are. But do you really think this team's going to do anything in the playoffs if they get there?
I'm just watching them rise. They come up out of the ashes.
I'm more concerned about 7 games in 5 days.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
don't care who you are or how good your team is. That's a tough thing to do.
Yep. The only plus that's going to be good for the Phillies, and I'll give here's another little plug positive. 4 of those 7 games are going to be 7-inning games, so we're not going to see much of the bullpen. So let's hope that Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola is pitching at least one of those doubleheaders so that we can get.
So you want to talk bullpen and you want to call out the guys that are new to the bullpen, but I didn't hear you call out your boy Hector, and Hector has imploded.
Well, they all have. No, I would say
quite some time now.
Yeah, no, they all have.
He's not new, and he wasn't part of the change. Tommy Hunter, same thing.
Yep.
So
they all have.
Where lies the problem then?
The clock struck 12. It's the truth. I mean, relief pitchers have a shelf life. They have a couple years that they're good, and then that you got to move on from them. Even in a good season, you might have to move on from them. Before they get to that bad spot. How about
JoJo Romero before he came in last night? Did you see him?
He was fired up.
What was it? What did he have? A bottle of water or a can of water or something? Acted against himself and crushed it. I mean, he's just. I don't remember that in Reading. Was he that big a character in Reading?
No,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he was pretty quiet.
He's fired up out there.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
Well, somebody's got to be.
Right.
And he's basically been your only guy in the bullpen that you can kind of rely on. And Girardi's been moving him along pretty well as a left-handed specialist. So I mean he's working that way.
That's because your other boy, Adam Morgan, kind of like went bye-bye.
Well, that's when he got hurt, but yeah. But I mean, again, he was good the past couple of years, and now his time has come.
All right, so you're talking about the bullpen, and you're pointing fingers at the bullpen.
Well, it's more Clintack, but yeah.
Okay, Clintack, whatever GM of the day you want to bash, perfectly fine. How about your boy Bryce Harper? Is he done playing? I'm a little baby, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, so I'm going to take it out on everybody else.
Yeah. No, he's definitely in a slump. There's no doubt about that. Well, no, he's definitely there. I mean, it's
I didn't see those bad swings out of Reese Hoskins that whole time. I mean, this guy is like really out there.
No, I hear you. He's definitely in a slump.
You can tell he's frustrated.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, it's that.
Then he got into it with his manager in the dugout on top of it.
Yeah, he doesn't like coming out of the games.
He's frustrated.
Well,
yeah, but it's better to be frustrated now than later. So, if you told you at this point in the season, in the spring training, that they have a chance to make the playoffs, everyone would be very happy with that, I would imagine. So,
well, most of us here are.
It seems like
not everybody.
Seems like everyone's thrilled.
No, listen. I just know what's happened. I told you this last week when we were there Thursday at the store. The luster is going to come off of that bullpen. They're going to fade, and then something's going to happen. They were let go for a reason. They were DFA'd. Half of them were DFA'd.
John, here's the question: how did those guys, these 3-4 guys you got, how does all of their ERAs go up when they come to the Phillies? And that can't be, before someone says it's a pitching coach, that's ridiculous because it's not been enough time. So how does that happen? You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense in itself.
Well, and let's just another thing on top of that. Just imagine if there was fans this year. They want to come here. And you would think it would be pressure. Imagine if there was fans
forget it.
Fans right now, and they're pulling this stuff right now. They would be booed lustrously, off the field. I just think a lot of them they weren't. I don't know if it's this COVID thing where the Phillies weren't able to see these guys, play, pitching, in general, and they're just looking off of the numbers, a little bit off the computer, like, hey, he's pitching okay, but what was it, Workman? The Phillies played Boston before we got him, and we beat the heck out of him and scored 4 runs off of him, and that's why his ERA went up, supposedly. So it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's, I don't think it's anything other than they were DFA'd. David Hale was DFA'd, and we put a claim into him. So they pulled him back, and then we had to make a trade because of it.
So we gave up a bucket of popcorn.
Well, I think what was that? 2 players to be named later, or a player to be named later. And then the same thing with the Red Sox. Both of those guys are. I mean, well, Hembry's available to play with us next year. He's a free agent, but with a club option.
So sticking with our theme here of positivity, why are they 1.5 games out of first place through all of this?
The Braves aren't playing very well, and they've had a bunch of injuries too. So, they're hanging in there. Is basically they're not crushing it, but they're just hanging in there at this point.
And that's exactly it. They're hanging in because everybody else is falling apart, not because they're doing something special. Let's face it. If we had to go into the playoffs right now, we have a 3-game series out in San Diego to play. You think they're going to win that?
Well, if your starting pitchers go far into the games, they would. But if you get to the bull, now anyone can win a 3-game series. But then theoretically, if you get to a longer series, I don't know how. Eventually they're going to get to a bullpen.
Well, that's the thing. A 3-game series, yes, you're going to have Nola and Wheeler pitching in the 2 of those games. So, for that time period, you should be into the games. But you just look at everybody that comes out. They're giving up 2-3 runs. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, right before Phelps came in. And I'm like, this game's over. Just watch. He's lighting fire. The gas is already thrown out there, and he's going to light the match, and the game's over. Hembree came in and gave up runs. They're all giving up runs like fire. So, I mean, unless that changes, there's no way that you're going to be able to survive in a playoff series against better teams. I mean, we're lucky right now because the Nationals have struggled. So we beat them up. We'll have a big test this week. You got these 7 games. If we don't come out with at least 4 or 5 wins in that 7 games, we may not make the playoffs. It's just
so you're
simple.
okay. You're okay at 4-3, 5-2. You'll be okay with that.
Well, yeah. If we have to get, we need at least 5 wins, because at 4 we're going to be 2 games up on the Marlins. If we have 4, the Mets and the Braves and the Marlins are playing tonight, so they could be within a half a game of us if they win. The Marlins win tonight, or we can also be, what would that be? A half a game of the Braves too, if they.
You're only going to pick up a half a game.
Right, we're going to pick up a half a game because that's right. So we're a game and a half, so we'll be a game closer. Hopefully, if that's the case. But then the Marlins are that close. So that's why it's going to be tough right now, for our division. Because I don't know that, surprisingly, the Giants are playing well. Give Kapler, I guess you got to give Kapler credit for that. They're playing well out there. The whole NL West is playing well. So when it comes down to it, I don't know that you're going to have a third team coming out of our division. So that's why we have to win at least 5 of those games against the Marlins this week.
So I've got a question for Anthony. Let's go back to minor league baseball a little bit here. I see where the president has retired effective the end of the year.
It did.
Is that good, bad, indifferent? Where does that put things?
Oh, well, it depends who you're talking to. If you're asking me and just me, what I think, he doesn't really have at this point, you don't have much pull the position we're currently in. So you got to kind of, either sort of step aside or you need to be in for the long haul. And it sounds like he's ready to be sort of done, which is, he's done it for a long time. Now, there are people that are on his side that are 100% with him and think he did everything right. And, there is an article that we read on, I forget where it was. I think it was Deadspin maybe that talked about him. And it sort of kind of made you feel bad for him a little bit in his talks and negotiations for Major League Baseball, because it made it sound like he was doing everything he could that they wanted him to do in hopes that when it was time to sign this new deal that the Major League Baseball would do it, because he was doing everything they asked him to. Lobbying Congress, all this stuff. Well, it seems to have maybe backfired. Maybe he didn't get things in writing. Maybe whatever happened. So there are people on his side. There are people that are not. It just, it's probably not the best look to say, hey, in December, we're not going to have a president of minor league baseball, when in September, the end of September 30th, I think, is the day that the agreement ends. So, if you're saying you're going to be done in December, it doesn't give you much time to sort of, figure everything out. It just makes it, it makes it scary for the future. The later that there's a schedule, the later that you have some of that information, the harder it is to kind of get things figured out. We have no idea what could happen at this point. It sounds like from all the articles you read that Major League Baseball will be sort of in control of minor league baseball. And at that point, you can do whatever you want. If you're starting something from scratch, you can do whatever you want. So, it's not necessarily a bad thing for us. It could be a good thing, but there are a lot of people that could either be out of work or might have to move, or who knows? It's like starting a league from scratch. So who knows what's going to happen? But I don't really, personally, I don't have a feeling one way or the other. You hear some things and you say, well, that doesn't sound great. And you read other articles and it sounds like you kind of feel bad for the guy. But I don't know, because I don't know him personally, but I just hope they can kind of figure something out. Before all the COVID stuff happened, it was on the front of everyone's radar If people remember back, at the time with right around the time the Fanatic was the biggest thing in the world. So was minor league baseball. You had Bernie Sanders and all these different politicians. Now, we had a politician that came to us in Reading about, not that we were in danger, but teams leaving and that they would fight for it. And then literally 2 weeks later, COVID hit, and you have not heard a peep out of one politician. And you might not until September 30th, unless they say, hey, we're getting rid of this amount of teams, we're doing whatever. Then you might hear some. But, as a person who works it every day, to not have that necessarily that support that you did at the beginning just makes it a little scary for the future, because we've been living in an unknown since March. And I feel we're in September and it's the same unknown, which is a little scary as you get closer to April.
Right.
So
Can you give us a little update? Is there backfeed in my voice?
Not now. There was, but not now.
Can you give us a little update? Because you guys been busy out there in Reading. What all you guys got going on?
Yeah, so it makes it a little bit difficult with the amount of people we're allowed to have, obviously, with all this. So I think indoors is like 25 people, and outdoors you could have, and they're going to change it with restaurants to 50 later in September. For us, because we're an outside venue, you can have up to 250 people, which sounds great if you're like, a park. But when you're a 9,000 seat stadium, when we sell out at 250 people, it's almost, not depressing, but it's like there are hundreds upon hundreds of feet between everybody. You could probably have 2,000 people, 3,000 people even, and still be comfortable. But, I get they make sort of these generic rules, so it is what it is. But, we've had movie nights, we've had different music events. A lot of the high school kids that weren't able to play for their senior years are going to continue. There's games all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next weekend. And then as we get into October, there'll be more sort of fall family movie series up until the 30th. We'll do like a safe trick-or-treating on the 30th and show like a Charlie Brown pumpkin movie and something like that. And then I think the next night on the 31st, for the kids at the Dream League, which is our it's sort of like a miracle league for kids with disabilities. We have a field that we built, and there's going to be like a safe trick-or-treating that day on the 31st. And then when you get to November, there's Toys for Tots with Harley Davidson. Then November we'll sort of pack it in, only because, in the wintertime we don't have many indoor places, and that'll be the last event we have until about March. So, it's good. It's just tough a little bit because there's not a ton of revenue after you pay for the rights of the movie and pay your staff and you pay everybody. You're sort of breaking even. But the nice part is it at least keeps the ballpark in everybody's mind.
Right.
So it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's tough sometimes seeing it when you can only have 250 people there. So
yeah. And Lauren, why don't you touch base a little bit on Humane Pennsylvania? You guys got some cool stuff going on.
Yeah, so this Saturday we start our first movie series as well. So we have a movie out at our dog park, which is in Birdsboro, for those that are familiar with the Berks County area. We are showing Trolls World Tour, which is basically the second Trolls. So folks can come out. It's a really big, spacious dog park, so people will be able to keep their distance from one another. We are also maxed out at 250 people just based on space. Our dog park is honestly probably as big as his stadium, just with the amount of space that there is there. So it's a pretty massive facility that we have. Obviously, we got an inflatable screen, so we're stuck to just kind of that specific area. We don't have that luxury that the stadium does, to have people sit kind of all around that big Jumbotron. But so we start that this Saturday, and then we've got 2 Sunday fun days with live music coming up after that on September 27th and October 18th. Then we're also having Halloween things as well for kids on the 30th and then for adults on the 31st. And then we finish up our movie series on Friday, November 6th. So yeah, we're just kind of the same thing as Anthony and them. A lot of our events have taken a pretty big hit this year. Our events in total raised about $350,000. That obviously isn't happening this year. We've only been able to bring in about $50,000 between the virtual walk that we did and the money that we did have for the art auction. So we're just trying to make a few bucks here and there as much as possible. But like Anthony touched on, by the time you rent the movie, buy the inflatable screen, get staff there. You're kind of breaking even, but we're just really trying to stay relevant with folks so they remember that we're still there, especially because our Berks County shelter isn't open right now because they're finishing up construction on that building. So it's really just to kind of keep the community involved in what we've got going on. So that way, hopefully next year when events are back up and running like normal, they remember us. So
Sure. You have an event this Sunday, correct? Harley Davidson in Reading?
Yeah, so that one is just separate. We do this mini Pints for Pups series. So we go to different places throughout the year. We actually have 6 coming up over the next month and a half. And our first one recently is this Sunday at Classic Harley, which is in Leesport. A lot of you guys know Matt Jackson. He used to work for the Fightins. He's a good friend of the Crazy Hot Dog Vendor. So he works at Classic Harley. So he's been a huge help in getting this event going. It looks awesome. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the weather holds out for a really nice day on Sunday. Doesn't look great right now, but hopefully that turns. So yeah, we've got that going on from 11 to 2. And he's got it stacked with things going on that day.
Very cool.
So you mentioned live music. Do you know who's playing?
We're still working on a few things. My boss is really big into like blues and like rockabilly sort of stuff. So he's into that stuff. So that's a little bit more difficult for me because that's not really what I'm more interested in. So I'm kind of taking the lead on him with what he wants. But 2 of the bands that we're looking into are Berks County based. So one is called Frog Holler. And that one's a pretty big following here in Berks County. And the other one is called, I want to say it's like Uncle Jake and the 18-Wheel Gang, if I'm guessing. Did I get that right? Hot damn.
Wow.
Okay, I got that right. So just like easy listening music on like a Sunday, kind of grab a beer, sit in the dog park, listen to some nice music. Hopefully it's not like terribly hot by then, so it's just kind of like a nice, like easy, relaxing day sort of feel. So we're still narrowing down those details, but hopefully we'll be able to announce those soon.
Cool.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, good luck to both you guys because I know you guys put in a lot of hours. You guys don't have 8 to 5 jobs, so
Nope.
you guys are out there pounding the pavement and I don't know how you do it, but good luck with everything. And if there's anything that this Fans View can do, you want to share it on our page, whatever we can do. If you want us to come out and do an autograph signing, we can.
That'll surely pack the stadium.
I'm sure we can get 250 people there.
Whatever. We got it. We got to have 250 people that would come out and buy us a beer. Absolutely. Well, good luck with everything. You guys do an outstanding job, and like I said, anything that we can do to help share it, and I know we go to some of the events, and then I love to drink beer, so it just falls in line what I like.
Well, they have
in music, so
separately. Have they announced for some of the sports that are like inside? Have they announced anything yet about for the next season, like? People inside for hockey next year, people inside for basketball next year. I know the hockey team here in Reading usually starts in October, so they've already, the ECHL has already said, hey, they're not even going to consider starting till January. Yeah. So I feel bad for them. I mean, that's just a hard conversation. It's almost, 2 years without something going on, but I didn't know if the NHL or the NBA or anything has said anything.
They haven't announced. I think really all they want to do is bring closure to the 2020 season and excuse me, get that all culminated and hand out trophies and, move on to 2021 and hope everything gets better.
I hope 2021 is better than 2020. That's for sure.
I just think when they say 25 people inside, I'm like, you can't really be very profitable at anything with 25 people inside. So
no. Supposedly in Philadelphia anyway, the Flyers and Sixers won't have any fans until March. That's the news right at the moment, unless something changes.
And the Eagles decided not to have them, right?
Well, yeah, they really weren't allowed to from the governor and stuff. So,
But yet the Steelers can, right?
I don't know. You keep saying that, but I don't remember reading that. I mean, I know some teams like the Dolphins are originally they said like 15,000 people. It seems very unfair to the teams that are located in other areas. It doesn't seem like it's their fault.
Yeah.
So it's either I don't know, I feel like it should be either nobody or a certain percentage. That doesn't seem right. That some can have it and some can't.
Yeah, exactly. The only one that I thought was close to us that had fans was Cleveland, and they were supposed to only have 6,000 fans.
Gotcha.
So I know at one point the Steelers said the first 2 games wouldn't have fans, and I don't know if they've ever said anything after that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it just seems like it's all over the place, and maybe they're just trying. Maybe every team's just trying to see how the first 2 weeks go in general before they even consider. If the players stay healthy and no one gets sick, and their town allows it, maybe they'll consider it. But maybe it's just too early. I don't know.
Yeah, it's quite tough.
I'm curious as to how they go about picking which fans they allow in. Is it a lottery or?
I'm sure they'll probably split it up if you have 8 games. So
Right.
If there's I mean the 6,000 would be a little hard, but if you had 9,000 fans and 8 games at 72,000 fans,
Right.
you
Each
might
get one game.
each season ticket holder would get 1 game probably.
If John, if you're in Pennsylvania right now, so theoretically, you can only have 250 people outside. So let's say each of these pro football teams don't have any fans. So locally, so Mike Robinson, who's on our staff, he's a coach of a local high school team. He does their running back coach and works with the defense and all that sort of stuff. So they have games 2 weeks from tomorrow, or 2 weeks from Friday is their first game. They still don't know if they could have anyone in, because even if you give each student 2 tickets,
Right.
depending if you have 50 guys on the team, 80 guys on the team, some of these schools have, you give the band member 2 tickets, you give the cheerleaders 2, that's 250 people right there. So there are some school districts around us who have already talked about, because everyone is going to come to the gates to try to watch their kid or whoever play. There are some school districts that have already talked about not roping it off, but almost like making it so you can't see in, for the fact to almost be safe, because they feel like there will be 1,000 people outside of the gates trying to look in. So they're going to block it off so you can't. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens at the high school level where you don't have the security or you don't have the means that the big guys do. And there are way more, obviously, high schools than pro teams. I mean, every town's got a high school, obviously. So I don't know, because they also kind of seem like they're all on their own right now, too. And some of these schools also have boosters if they have an education foundation. So you're going to, if it's a big sponsor who's helping out the school, you got to tell that person no. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Especially like you said, for high school kids, for their parents not to be able to be there, because you're going to have a gathering, just like you said, with between the coaching staffs and the players and the band and your cheerleaders. That's your 250 people without even having anybody in the stands.
I know a lot of schools are getting they invested here, at least locally. They invested in technology so you can have at least a couple cameras there so families can stream it.
Right.
So that might be something, like we're doing now, that might be something of the future that a lot of those teams do. And I get that if you're not immediate family, if you're someone's cousin, I get that. But if you're someone's parent and it's their senior year, you probably don't want to miss the last time they're playing football. So it's going to be interesting.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, that's tough with all of it. It's going to make it difficult. And the same thing with college football as well. With kids, parents as well with that. That's what's hard about it. Like you said, it's either you do it or you don't. And you got half the college football not playing and the other half playing, and it's just the SEC says we're putting fans in completely. It's it's just crazy. How
about the college football game the other night? BYU and Navy, 5-3.
Jesus.
Navy didn't even have. They had no live practice at all. No,
Really?
0. 55-3. Now BYU, I'm sure, was practicing. If you're putting up those kinds of numbers,
right?
It's crazy. I just think we're in for a whole lot of injuries and
right. and that's
what else?
Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen.
and that's what's going to be that's first month of the NFL season. It's going to be who can survive that first month before everybody gets their legs underneath of them. Because that's they don't play much in preseason as it is in the past couple of years, and you see how it takes you about 2 weeks for them to get into the role of things as it is with doing what they can, hitting and that kind of stuff. So now you're not hitting for the whole time. It's gonna be it's gonna be a rough season for everybody.
Well, here we are at 7:26. We killed another show.
You have.
I got a really cool takeaway from today, and I just saw this right before we went live. But you guys know Oscar Lindblom and the whole story with the Flyers, the cancer survivor, the whole bit. So I guess today he finally made his way back to Sweden, and his dog greeted him at the airport. It was the coolest thing ever. If you guys could check it out, I mean, you talk about goosebumps. This dog was so excited. I don't know where his relatives were, but his dog was super, super excited.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's my takeaway. The Flyers, disappointed me a little bit, but, God bless Oscar Lindblom and coming back from all that and being able to see that as he went back home today. So, Mario, what do you got?
I'm going to try to get through this. I'll go on the cancer note. Also, a very near and dear friend of mine has just gone through cancer treatments. He's going for a PET scan on Friday. So if everybody could just say a prayer for him, that's all I got.
All right. Prayers.
Yep, absolutely.
Johnny, what do you got?
My takeaway is going to be kind of answering Sean's question about the imagine the Phillies' record with the bullpen. The stat today was if they could have held a 2-run lead, they'd be 30-9 this year. If the bullpen could just hold a 2-run lead, that just goes to show how you can't be cheap on a bullpen. And
I thought you were going to answer his other question about Carl talking about beer.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Sorry.
That's okay. It's all good. 30-9.
30-9 is what the team would be if they would have just spent a few bucks on the bullpen.
Yep.
We wouldn't even be talking about this series now, the 7-game series.
I hear you. I'm with you. I'm praying for you too.
That's why, like I said, it just bites you in the butt when every game when you lose these games. It's just like so frustrating to watch, and that they're just letting them slip away because of just being cheap. And you got a loyal fan base. You got the pandemics sitting there every game, out there going, they're not even playing in the ballpark that day, and they're still there every night with their horns. And that's the type of fans we are here in Philadelphia. We just want you to go out there and win. And the team just says they want to win, but they don't, and they just leave you a little hanging, a little dry. When they don't go all in, they just go.
You're back. Enough. You're back again next week, right, John?
Absolutely.
Good.
With us winning 5 out of 7 too.
There you go.
There you go.
Lauren, Anthony, what do you guys got?
I was just going to talk about Clemente Day a little bit today. So the Pirates are all, for the first time, they're all wearing 21, which is great. The league finally loosened up a little bit and allowed all the Puerto Rican players to wear 21 this year, and then any player is allowed to wear a 21 patch. So it's something that people have been trying to get for a very long time. I think some people, unrightly so, sort of made it like this is, Clemente versus Jackie Robinson thing, and I don't think it's about that at all. I just think it's two good people, two separate, people that were very good to the communities that they worked in. The way that, he died and how he lived his life is more people, especially now when people don't really get along and can't have a conversation with someone with differing opinions. You should look at people like that who, ultimately gave their life to try to help unfortunate people. So I'm hoping, personally as a not only as a Pirates fan, but as a Clemente fan, at some point, maybe that number can get retired, but at least the league is loosening up a little bit so that you can sort of represent it a little bit better. So I hope they continue that going forward.
Nice, very nice.
Yep.
How's the Pirates record?
The Pirates are pretty bad. I don't know. They have about 10 wins. So this might be the only portion of a game I watch for the rest of the year, but it'll be nice to kind of just hear the stuff about Clemente, and I'm sure his kids will be on. They've been making the rounds today. So, yeah, it's probably the last thing to look forward to for the year.
Well, I agree with you, though, Anthony. It's definitely a number that needs to be retired. I mean, the baseball wouldn't be the same without a Roberto Clemente.
Right.
With the Latin players that are in this league right now because of him. The same way with Jackie Robinson. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of time to talk about that today. That was definitely a point that I wanted to get in there as well. That it's just they're both two special players that the baseball wouldn't be what it is without both of them. So
yep.
it needs to be retired, like you said, and have a day every year.
Yep.
So, sorry, Carl, to cut you off. Or Lauren.
No, I just wanted to thank everybody who reached out. It was my 30th birthday last Thursday, so I just wanted to thank everyone. We celebrated for 4 days straight. So I just
That's awesome.
Thank you to everybody in some way, shape, or form for all your well wishes. So it was a good one. So
All right.
Very cool.
You guys got a half hour to get your picks in. You're playing against me. I'm going to kick all your asses.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the fire. All right.
here we go.
So I need a little clarification, Lauren. I heard that you were in the 30-30 club now. So was that 30 drinks along with your age, or what was the extra 30?
I don't know what the extra 30 was. I think it was just welcome to the 30 club. I'm not sure. I don't know if he said 30-30. Maybe that's what he said. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know what the other 30 were. I didn't have 30 drinks, though. I can tell you that much.
It was pretty damn great.
All weekend you
I
didn't
was
have
going to
30
say 4
drinks?
days. I'm sure you probably got close to it.
Drinks, though. Not over 4 days. That's a lot.
No, you had a lot on Saturday, but then you sort of
Okay. We don't have to get into that.
Two bottles of wine at dinner Saturday night. Does that count?
Well,
But
that's 2 drinks.
Yeah, that's 2 drinks.
Okay. 2 bottles.
Yeah, put a straw in the bottle. You're good. That's one.
I didn't drink them all myself.
You had a good run, though. Congratulations.
Yes,
I did.
absolutely.
It was
Yes.
good.
So good. So
Yep.
good. Great show, guys.
All right.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
See you
Thanks,
next
guys,
week.
for putting up with all of us.
Oh, hey, it's all good. Get out there and get your votes in and enjoy fantasy football this year.
You
There
got
you
it.
go. We got a
All
great
right.
prize this week, too.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Prize.
Two Eagles Hall of Famers.
There
Or
you
Wall
go.
of Famers. So
Nice.
get out there and get your votes. You still have time.
All right,
So-
guys.
All right.
Anybody can win.
See you next
Yes.
week.
Thank you.
Yeah.